Coming up on Seminole Sports Magazine, we celebrated a tradition at FSU that has national prominence among all other universities. We'll look at the history of this tradition. Also, Florida State University has been home away from home for many international student athletes. Our women's cross-country team has a couple of athletes from across the pond in England. Then basketball season is kicked off with a fan-favorite event, and we're there for all the madness. And we'll look at another Florida State Hall of Famer who made a difference in the world of women's golf. And it all started right here. These stories and more on Seminole Sports Magazine. Hello everyone, I'm Rob Wilson. Osceola Atop Renegade is one of college football's most storied traditions. This year, Florida State celebrated the 35th year anniversary of that creation. Shawn Davison gives us a look at the ceremony and the history behind this special Seminole tradition.
Two of college football's most iconic figures have never taken a snap. Yet Chief Osceola and his sidekick Renegade never cease to bring the Seminole faithful to their feet. A student portrays Osceola, wields a spear, and rides Renegade before every home game. A fire is lit, the spear is planted, the game is on. Like the unconquered statue behind me, Osceola atop Renegade is considered to be a representation of the Seminole spirit. Although it has become a staple before every home game, this great tradition almost never began. Bill Durham came up with the idea of Osceola and Renegade when he was a Florida State student in 1962. It took 15 years for his dream to become a reality.
It was the idea I had when I was a student at FSU, working on the homecoming committee, and couldn't get much support for it. And so it just really lay dormant until Coach Bowden came back to Tallahassee. I told him the idea about having a student rider and a spear with a flame on the end of it. He said, "Bill, will you make that happen?"
One of Durham's obligations was to clear his concept with the Seminole tribe. They were more than supportive of the idea.
So I met with Chairman Howard Tommy, and he thought it was a wonderful idea and said, "Well, Bill, I'll have some ladies here at the reservation to make your first regalia for you, and I'll send it to you." And he did.
Over the years, there have been 5 Renegades and 15 Osceolas. The former Osceolas agree, riding out and planting the spear at midfield is an honor, a privilege, and a hair-raising experience.
It's exhilarating. It's a lot of fun. You kind of you hear this big noise, and you're in the moment. You're basically you're part of the team for just a few moments, leading them out. It's a lot of fun. It's no way to put it.
It is indeed an honor and a privilege, and to be Chief Osceola, you realize that you're not representing who you are. You're representing a very cherished and unconquered people.
Osceola and Renegade have stood the test of time. The Durhams have made it a formal, scholarship-based program. Each Osceola must earn their scholarship and the privilege of riding Renegade.
They've got to be an exceptional equestrian. The second thing is they've got to be a great student, because that's why they're here, is to get a degree at this great institution that is Florida State University. And the third piece is that they understand and respect the role that they are portraying. Osceola is a great historic figure of tremendous significance and all that he stood for.
Florida State recently celebrated the 35th anniversary of the Osceola and Renegade program's creation. The current Chief Osceola and former Osceolas were honored during the Noles home game against Maryland. For each Osceola, however, the real honor wasn't the recent recognition, it was the opportunity to represent the Seminoles and plant the spear for one moment in time. For many, it ranks high on their list of life experiences.
You know, at the time, the thing that Bill would say is that more men have walked on the moon than have ridden this horse on the football field. No pressure. I think in college significance, certainly this is the supreme or preeminent moment. So in my life, you know, aside from, you know, the birth of my kid and the marriage, this is definitely a top 5. I'd go back and do it again tomorrow.
And for the Durhams, the past 35 years have been a whirlwind. A dream became a reality, an idea to honor the Seminole tribe became a beloved tradition.
I've had so many people that I haven't thanked enough that helped me and believed in me and wanted this program to succeed. So I just have to say thanks to all of the friends and my very close family as well for their inspiration and support.
Much about the Osceola and Renegade program still remains a mystery. The Durhams claim what we can't see and don't know contributes to Osceola and Renegade's mystique. What Seminoles can see, however, is one of college football's greatest traditions taking place in front of their very eyes. I'm Shawn Davison for Seminole Sports Magazine.
You can see this unique display of Seminole tradition as Osceola plants his flaming spear before every home game. When we come back, the British are here. They're in a different land, but they find it quite enjoyable running for the women's cross-country team. Speaking of the British, a former FSU women's golfer was determined to play in the LPGA, and Karen Stupples did much more than that. We'll learn more about this Hall of Fame inductee.
Seminole Sports Magazine is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coke taste and 0 calories.
Florida State Athletics is no stranger to hosting international students from all around the world. Some of our star players are from foreign countries, and they're sure to bring their culture, experience, and athletic ability to Seminole Nation. As Pascal Mondesir tells us, 2 FSU runners began their cross-country careers in a country thousands of miles away.
Hannah Walker and Pippa Wolven have a lot in common. They love to run, they both began competing at age 15, and they share that same recognizable accent. Hannah and Pippa traveled more than 4,000 miles from the UK to Florida to run cross-country for FSU. Not only are both runners British, but they both attended the University of Birmingham in England before moving to Tallahassee to benefit their cross-country careers. And both women agreed that FSU was the only school they had their eye on.
I think we both had such strong influence from people at uni back home who had been here and been there and done it and had such a great time that this is really the only place I was serious about going to, just because it's such a big move. You want to go somewhere you trust. I think we both probably got approached by a lot of other universities, but Florida State is always the one for us.
Hannah and Pippa left the great UK and traveled thousands of miles due to FSU's support, resources, and Coach Harvey's leadership. Embracing a culture that's different from your own can be difficult, but the girls say that at times, it's actually pretty funny.
Well, sometimes when I say things, and I'm only joking, I say like, oh, jokes at the end, and everyone finds that really funny. I don't know why. But yeah.
We just get a lot of comments about our accent. Like in the supermarket, people will stop us and just want to talk to us. Where are you from? And it's like, oh, keep talking. And we're like...
Another tradition that's foreign to them, team huddles before a race.
We have a huddle.
It's so exciting and it really like spurs you up and you're like, right, let's go. Yeah. But I got a question for you. Who do you run for?
I don't know the words still, and so I mess that up every time. But
along with embracing a new culture, embracing an entire country can be a nerve-wracking experience for some, but the girls had their friendship to soften the shock. Their relationship stems way before the University of Birmingham, when they raced each other in local leagues before they met in college. Through the excitement of a new country and the security of a close friend, the girls remained focused on one thing: cross-country.
One thing that I found very different coming here is that cross-country is much more of a team sport, which is just great, and I find that really motivating in itself. Just when you're running in a race and you know you're doing it for your team as well as yourself, it just adds the extra motivation, I think.
The girls are learning a lot throughout their time here in America, but they still don't know where their academic careers will land them.
I'm not too sure really what the future holds. I mean, there's the focus of the Commonwealth Games in 2014, and then after that, who knows, really.
Their dedication to cross-country took them out of their country and brought them here to the U.S. Even though they lean on each other to help navigate their new culture, their love for FSU has made the transition easier. I'm Pascal Mondesir for Seminole Sports Magazine.
When we return to Seminole Sports Magazine, get ready for the madness. Yes, men's basketball is about to enter its season, and it started with a fan-favorite event. We'll get a recap of all the activities. Welcome back, everyone, to Seminole Sports Magazine. Here's Andrew Jupe to catch you up on all the latest in Seminole athletics.
Hey Knoll Nation, I'm Andrew Jute with your Seminole Update. In the pool, the Seminole swimming and diving team combined for a 4-0 record this week. In the 100 breaststroke, the Knowles' second and third place finishers Jared Cook and Richard Hildebrand both turned in season bests. These performances in the air and water improved the Knowles to 3-0 by beating Georgia Tech 213-65 and NC State 162-136. On the women's side, diving once again gave the Seminoles a lift. Injured senior Ariel Rittenhouse led the charge as the Knowles took first, second, and fourth in the 1 meter. The talented tandem of Tiffany Oliver and Caitlin Dressel swept first and second place in both the 50 and 100-yard distances. The freestyle and diving efforts propelled Florida State past NC State and Georgia Tech, improving to 5-1 on the year. FSU football welcomed back their legendary coach for the anointed Bobby Bowden Day versus NC State. The pregame spectacle was quickly surpassed by the Seminoles' spectacular play on the field, beginning on defense. On the second play of the game, this interception by senior defensive back Terrence Brooks set the tone. 4 plays later, Carlos Williams powered for an 18-yard score, giving FSU a 7-0 lead, a lead they would never relinquish. The Seminoles would score 4 more touchdowns in the first 15 minutes to lead 35-0 after the first quarter. The Knowles finished with a 31-yard touchdown by Levante Whitfield late in the fourth quarter to finalize the score at 49-17. Florida State athletics remained unconquered this week. I'm Andrew Jute, and that's your Seminole Update.
We are in the final stretch of the ACC football season, but the basketball Knowles are just getting started. Seminole Sports Magazine reporter Amanda Ferguson was there at the tip-off of the 2013-14 season and brings us all the madness from the Donald L. Tucker Center.
Dunks, trays, and the sounds of sneakers on hardwood can only mean one thing. It's basketball season at FSU. The action began October 11th when fans packed the Donald L. Tucker Center for Seminole Madness, the first official practice of the year for the Knowles. Two-time ACC Coach of the Year Leonard Hamilton says Seminole Madness allows the fans and players to come together before the real madness of the ACC season begins.
Well, Seminole Madness just gives us as a staff and as a team an opportunity to interact with our fans and have a little fun in the name of basketball, entertain a little, and just kind of kick the season off. It gives you sign some autographs, develop some relationship with the kids, and hopefully motivate our fans to get behind us.
With this hour-and-a-half kickoff to the season, free prizes, and fun activities, the fans are showing their support, bleeding garnet and gold, and screaming at the top of their lungs. What is it like to be here?
It's overwhelming. Sensory overload. I got this poster, so I'm really excited.
Awesome.
It's exciting. I'm a huge basketball fan, so it's really exciting for me to see our new players and whatnot.
I just like all the things they do. It's not just basketball, it's all the contests and everything.
A lot of people, the fun.
Seminole Madness helps you get motivated for the season because it's like the first big showing for our whole team, so you want to go out and impress everybody and show them what you've been working on the whole summer.
We're here in the middle of the madness where we're about to gear up to watch all of the Seminole events that are about to take place. The Golden Girls cheered the Knowles onto the court to get things started. The first event was a 3-point contest, followed by a scrimmage.
The 3-point, I won it last year, so I was trying to win it again this year. And I got into a shootout with Devin Booker, and he's definitely the better 3-point shooter. But, you know, I kind of beat him out at the end.
The Knowles closed the night by performing a fan favorite.
The dunk contest.
I'm excited for the dunk contest.
Again, the dunk contest.
The dunk contest. Quarterback Jameis Winston was not only a judge for the contest, but also assisted guard Aaron Thomas in his perfect 10 winning dunk.
The first time I told Jameis to throw the ball off the backboard so I could, win it off backboard, but That didn't work, so the second time he said, I'm gonna throw a pass from you from half court, and I want you to start from the 3 and just do something with it. I said, okay, I got you. So when he threw it the first time, we all saying it was about a shot clock, I had no chance, but the second time, I knew that was gonna be the one.
It wasn't just fans filling the seats at the Tucker Center. Relatives of the players were also there to cheer on the Noles.
Me and his dad and his favorite brother-in-law, so we're gonna have a good time, enjoy ourselves.
My father, you know, that's my man. He always got my back. He's my number 1 and 2 supporter, you know, him and my mom. But, you know, just having him there as my supporter and knowing he's not gonna lead me astray and that he can only help me, it's a great thing to know that you got your number 1 guy right behind you.
With family and fans at their back, the Noles and Coach Hamilton are looking forward to the new season.
Well, anytime you begin a new season, you want to do everything you can as a coach to try to reach your fullest potential, and that's always our goal. You know, you look forward to that, the challenge of every day, going out and practicing, giving it 100%, and try to be a little better today than we were yesterday.
Their fans are always behind them, no matter what, and it was felt during Seminole Madness. What's your favorite part about coming to all the games?
I'd have to say the fans, because we all cheer for the same team, and like watching how in a few years they could be playing professional basketball or football for a Doak, and like the way that you see them play, you see them grow every year, and I think that's awesome.
The thing that really stood out to me the most was the support and the talk and the positive talk that they had when we signed our autographs at the end. You know, just seeing them getting hyped and getting ready for the season.
The madness doesn't stop here. These Noles will keep fighting with every dribble and dunk to come out on top this year. They hope to make it to the Final Four and bring home an ACC championship. I'm Amanda Ferguson for Seminole Sports Magazine.
With their positive attitudes and new skills, they hope to make this dream a reality. The Seminoles tip off their regular season at home on November 8th against Jacksonville. When we return, we'll hear about the successful career of one of Florida State's Hall of Fame inductees from the world of women's golf.
Seminole Sports Magazine is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coke taste and 0 calories.
Another Brit that's made the move from England for a better athletic program was Karen Stupples. From those early days in America to her achievement in the LPGA, she's another Seminole in the FSU Hall of Fame.
Karen Stupples grew up in Dover, Kent, England. She started caddying for her dad on Saturdays at a young age and quickly fell in love with a game of golf. With no girls' golf in high school, Karen played for England junior and seniors as a teenager. Knowing that there was more to golf and more to life than what she had opportunities for in England, Karen made an impulsive move to pack up and head to the U.S. Stupples originally enrolled and played 1 year for a first-year golf program at Arkansas State, but she needed a more established program and asked friend and fellow Brit Kate Burton about coming to Florida State. Soon, she made the move to Tallahassee and began the journey to what was later to become a successful collegiate and professional career. Coming to Florida State was a big adjustment. Coaches Debbie Dillman and Ernie Lanford introduced her to a new level of competition. She also learned quickly that fitness and conditioning, studying, teamwork, and travel were a major part of being a Seminole. She credits Debbie and Ernie for being patient and caring and making her feel at home when she often felt homesick during the holidays. Karen's golf game began to develop as well. She went on to become one of 3 Lady Seminole golfers to be named first or second team All-American and was named All-ACC in 1994 and 1995. She won the Peggy Kirk Bell Invitational, and one of her most memorable wins was at the Lady Gator Invitational. Karen had 6 top 10 finishes as a sophomore and 8 more as a junior before deciding to change directions. With a dream of becoming a professional golfer, Stupples returned to England and took a job waiting tables so she could save money while she trained and practiced. Karen earned a spot on the 1996 Curtis Cup Championship team. That was a Ryder Cup-like tournament for amateur golfers, and she played again in the Cup in 1998. Karen received her LPGA card in 1999 on her first try and has not looked back. She is a 2-time member of the European Solheim Cup team and became a first-time winner at the 2004 Welch's Prize Championship, where she recorded a career-low 63 in both the first and last rounds to set an LPGA record. Her biggest win and first major was the 2004 British Open that was played only an hour and a half from where she grew up. Buses of fans from her hometown came down for the final round and watched Karen. She knew it was going to be a great day when she started out eagle, double eagle, and it turned out to be just that. Karen finished first with a record-tying 19 under and her first major championship. In 2007, Karen married her then caddy Bobby, and they have an aspiring young baseball player and son Logan, who is now 6. Based in Orlando, Karen, Bobby, and Logan have continued to travel with the tour while Karen competes. One of Karen's biggest victories, documented last year, was her dramatic weight loss. She says changing her fitness and eating habits have made her a new person, and her blogs and Twitter logs have been an inspiration to many other players on the tour. Besides traveling, Stupples enjoys cooking, painting, spending time with Logan, and has recently begun her hand at commentating on the Golf Channel. She also loves the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and is a die-hard Seminole fan. Karen says that she owes a lot to Florida State, that the opportunity to come to Tallahassee really opened her eyes up to the professional world and gave her the tools to become a success in life.
To hear of the successes of former Seminole athletes is always rewarding, especially when you hear of how their lives have helped others. I'm Rob Wilson, and we'll see you next week on Seminole Sports Magazine.